Shalom, Makim. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Mills Farm. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect that teaches word in all true faith and sincerity. And yeah, today, Akim, I just pretty much want to get into a lesson on how Esau, Edom, so-called white man, is your enemy. You know, and in a time to come, it's going to be fully made manifest that the devil wants to hate you. And that counsel of Esau, pretty much that was in his heart. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Because this thought that this man had wasn't just reserved to the time of Genesis. It has been playing out throughout the course of time. That's why every time during, us being overthrown or being abased, it's somewhere Esau is in the picture, because that's his goal, is to kill us off, to cut us off, man. So this Genesis 27 and 41, it said Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. See, so that's the drive motivation behind this man, what we're the target. It's because of the blessing, man, the birthright. It said, and Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. See? So as you can see, was in this man's heart. It was in his mind, back then, but it have grown and they have grew until now they actually having counsels about how they gonna kill us, man. These devils actually sit down and have means how they can keep us in further derision, and we in that phase now. We in the stage now where how can they get rid of us in large numbers, man? Which this comes back to the article I got now, and this is from Newsbreak, but the title of this is Bombshell. Gates Foundation, DARPA, funding self-replicating weaponized jab technology that began under apartheid to exterminate blacks, and now is powering the Crown jab. So as you can see, you got Gates, the Gates Foundation, you got Bill and Mel, and DARPA, which when you go into DARPA, pretty much that's under the banner of the military, man. That's under the banner of the military. But you got Gates actually this nigga actually put money into this. The military actually put money into this, and you see where those the spirit we had looked up how much money this devil put into his military just dealing with Babylon the Great. This nigga spending almost $1 trillion on a sword, man. And this is also under that. This also fall under the category of the sword. It says it began under the apartheid, regime. Matter of fact, because I got that on deck. Let's get that. I got that on deck. Matter of fact, because that was actually a system, a formula. This is the apartheid. This is South African. This came from the origins from South Africa. So it says means segregation, apartheid. It says was a system of institutionalized racial segregation that existed in South Africa and Southwest Africa. It says from 1948 until the early 1990s. See, 48, man. But it says apartheid was characterized by an authoritarian political culture based on Boskop, or white supremacy, Edomite supremacy, which ensured that South Africa was dominated politically, socially, and economically by the nation's minority, so-called white population. So pretty much it was a system to keep the Edomites head above water, man. But what was gonna, how's that system playing out? You know, you got these different laws, legislation to just to keep us abased. Also, this nigga just gonna have to kill us, man. And that's what we seeing. That's why I says the military is even funding this thing. You know, to exterminate blacks, the so-called Negro, Latinos, and natives, man. You know, the whole children of Israel as a whole. All right, let's see. It says bombshell story synopsis. Research on race-specific, self-replicating, self-spreading, weaponized jabs was being conducted by doctors and scientists under the apartheid regime in the 1990s, with the goal of causing self-spread infertility and deaths among blacks. And that's what you got today. This man, it's a plethora of ways this man is killing us off. Through the food we eat. The lifestyle we live by the way of so-called being drug dealers, homos. Also, just straight up, just giving you, trying to so-called help you, give you medicine, man. That's how this nigga kill you. This is how he kept, he kept the one up on us. Matter of fact, let's get a scripture real quick. This is the book of 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 in verse 11. It said, lest Satan should get an advantage of us. See, an advantage. To once again, like I said, to get the one up on us. Because he been doing this for centuries. By so-called helping you. By so-called, relieving you. So-called civilizing you. By being your ass, by killing you off, keeping you down. It says, for we are not ignorant of his device. So that lets you know that was one of the main ingredients for this nigga getting the advantage of us. His devices, these evil plots and plans and schemes that this man was able to, do and subdue us. The minds, Once you get the mind, then that's it. You got them. But now we're in a time where that truth has set upon the planet Earth, and that strength, one of his strengths, tell that he had the right hand of falsehood, is that strength of his lies is being broken now. So what's been more? He got to lean upon the sword more now. And it's gonna be made manifest. This man hates you, that he want to kill you, man. When you see these troops in the streets, when you see these tanks and roadblocks, that word mandatory is being more and more thrown around. They're gonna be asking you where your COVID card at when you come into these stores, man. That's how you gonna know it's gonna be real. That's how you gonna know this nigga hates you. So I'm gonna read it again. It said, lest saints should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. See, so now we are, you can only use the same formula so many times till you catch on. But we're in a time now, this is that accepted time, where light is going to come on the planet Earth. Truth is going to settle upon the planet Earth. Because it was a point in time where it was suppressed. Let's get that. Who the one that suppressed it? The devil, the so-called white man. That's why the first thing this nigga did when he came out of the pit, when you read Revelation the 20th chapter, the first thing he did was deceive the world. Why? Because this is how he was able to maintain the power. By lying, continue to lie to you. 2 Ezra 6 and verse 27, it says, for evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. See? So that's what the evil and the deception is being quenched. So now that's why you got the military is now more involved. Because deception, he can't lie to you no more. Now he just got to kill you. It said, as for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared. See? So It was truth on the earth, but it was without fruit, you know, because it was this devil that was blocking the shade, the light, man. But now we're in a time where it's out there. It's being made known, it's being made clear. Light is being shed on these things. And one of those things that light is being shed on is the so-called white man's the devil. And he is your enemy, man. And he want to kill you. And it has always been the case. But it's going to be more and more up close and personal as time moves on. And this article is proving it, that this nigga hates you, So let's go back to the article. Let's go into it. It says, these are some of the bullet points. It says, this same research continues today. So the same research pretty much cutting you off, exterminating you, is being done today. It said predominantly in the U.S., funded by DARPA and the Gates Foundation. And Gates said he's a so-called humanitarian or something like that. He's for the benefits of the people. But one of his things that he puts forth is depopulation. But it ain't just everybody pick a stick, whoever get the shortest stick, that you get the short end of the stick. Nah, this nigga got specific people he want to kill. It's a specific, race of people, nation of people on the earth right now that these devils actually want to kill, man. And that's your so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's why the scripture says they shoot in secret at the perfect. They bend their bows. Well, they got to be aiming at somebody. It was you Israelites. It was you Israelites, man. It says, this technology, known as self-replicating jabs, spreads through the population like a virus, causing the spread of infertility and death, all for the purpose of extermination and population reduction. See, like I said, they trying to reduce the population of who? These so-called Negro, Latinos, and Natives, man. Like I said, this man got a plethora of ways he's killing us off. Through your mindset, what you believe, just a nigga dying in a shootout. That idea actually came from Esau. That idea actually came from Esau. And the nigga died in a shootout by another nigga, but it really came. It always goes back to Esau, man. The food we eat, our diet, and all the way up to the so-called medicine this nigga is giving us. It's all for the purpose of us, for the extermination of the nation of Israel, man. Matter of fact, let's get that in the book of Psalms 83. Let's get that in Psalms 83. Because you got to look at it. When those nations was, let's get it, matter of fact. Let's get it real quick. Psalms 83. Psalms chapter 83. And I get to point verse 3. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. See? So, that as you can see, the purpose of that council was ultimately to cut the nation of Israel off from being a nation. But who would benefit the most from us being cut off? The so-called white man, which are the Edomites. You got all these other nations that's in on. That's why you got Ishmael Planet, and where you at. You got to capitalize off our downfall, and them capitalize off of it. We're not. Although I said the nations can lick their wounds, so they can't capitalizing off our downfall, and those them licking our wounds. That's only making it worse. They benefit from our destruction, but who would benefit the most from the whole thing? the Edomites, the so-called white man. You know, why? Because that means ultimately the blessing will go back to him. That's why going back to that council, he hated Jacob because of the blessing. But the only thing this nigga can think of was when 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 Isaac died, kill him. And that council is still playing out to this very day, man. You know, it's playing out to this very day, man. And that's what you're seeing, you know, in this article, which, you know, I just put the link in the description, but it just shows you that this has always been the case with this man. And it's gonna fully manifest that he hates you and he wanna kill you. Matter of fact, we can end up on this. Let's get this in the book of Ecclesiastes Sirach 12, and I start at 10. It said, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. See, so never trust this nigga, man. You gotta remember, the same man that hung you, castrated you, you know, actually funded the transatlantic slave trade. You know, this nigga, you know, starting these elite bankers. You know, this nigga actually put money together and had, you know, the Ishmaelites building ships. This nigga paid for the ships. He paid for the captors and the captors, man. You know, for them Hamites to gather us up. You know, the same nigga that gave you Doritos, the same nigga that gave you Black and Mild, the same nigga that gave you Tupac. Never trust him. Cause it said, for like his iron rust, so his wickedness. Because back then the devils from the 1950s, he can't compare to the devil of the 2020s, because at least the devil in the 1950s, you knew he was the devil. You knew he hates you. He will hang you, and he'll tell you, he'll blatantly let you know that he hates you. But today's devil, 2020 devil, you know, 2021 devil, he's saying he want to help you. You're going to be first in line to get the jab. But it is side effects, but it's mandatory, and you need to be, you know. So never trust this man. He has gotten worse when it comes to evil now, pretty much. And he's more slicker. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. See, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his wrath have not been altogether wiped away. See, why? Because he's the same nigga, man. He gotten worse over time, because over time, rust, that process of worse, it get worse over time. So he was that evil nigga back then. He's even more sinister now, you know. So matter of fact, let me jump down. Verse 16, it says, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. See, so they saying that, you know, it's for your benefit, but it's always a sinister plan behind it. He's trying to kill you, ultimately. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. Why? Because he's the source of the adversity. Why you think when the scripture tells you in Deuteronomy 28 chapter, it's going to be through that eagle why these curses are going to come forth? The eagle was going to bring forth the curses. So this nigga, he's the source of the adversity. That's why he's going to be there for the solution as well, man. You know, that's how much of a demon a nigga Esau is. He the one that caused the adversity and presents you with a solution that you know. He got to, you know, he set it where you crying out for a certain thing. You know, he'll cut the water off in the house, and now you crying out for water. He got it, but now it's a clause in the contract now. You know, you can get back to normal, but you got to get the jab. You can get back to normal, but ultimately you're gonna have to take that chip. You know, and you're gonna see that word requirement more and more. Mandatory, because that just lets you know this is an act of desperation. This is not a move of luxury, man. You know, it says, if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, see, yet he shall undermine thee. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much, see? So that's what that counsel, what he said in his heart back in Genesis 27, it have grew over the process of time. Now that's why you got summit meetings, Bilderberg meetings, think tanks. That thought have grown. You know, they got actually, scientists in the lab concocting shit, a Fago, concocting a Funyun to kill you, man. So it said he whispered much. It said, and change his countenance. Ultimately, that's what's about to happen. The countenance of this man is about to change. You know, he so-called present himself as that lamb. You know, something that's going to benefit you as a form of refuge. But ultimately, he's going to change his countenance. That nigga horns is going to show to the utmost. If you don't see it now, it's going to fully manifest in the time to come. In this time of wrath. At the time of vengeance, Jacob's trouble, man. But you gonna know he want to kill you, man. And that's what he basically saying by saying you gotta get the jab. Or, you know what I mean? So yeah, I just hope to be edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakah Kodash. I like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I like to say Shalom to the elect, that's Jesus' word in all truth and sincerity. DTA, Abide Babal. Soon, very soon,